What's up, English 1999ers? It's Dr. Scott. I am fixing to leave campus and head on home, and then tomorrow going out to Portland, Oregon for a conference. So I won't be in the rest of this week, so we won't have class the rest of this week. But I wanted to get you guys some feedback about some trends I was noticing in your literature reviews. So I'm just going to go through each of these. I've taken the names off of them, but we're a close-knit community. You'll probably figure out who's who. That's not really the point. The point here is there's some things that came up with a lot of people's literature reviews that I thought it would benefit you all from hearing about some of these issues, because it's probably going on in your paper. Okay, so the first issue is framing paragraphs around issues. And so this is a paper where we have paragraphs that got something going on here like this. Wayne noted, I was reluctant to encourage his bringing me material from his game sessions. And then it keeps going. And an issue that I kind of noticed that happens a lot is that paragraphs are not framed around a theme that you've noticed. They're framed around, here's something that happened in this one source that I've read. And remember, a lit review is kind of a review of different trends that you've noticed in the research. So this kind of approach, not going to work. Also, it's just not good writing to, it's not good research writing to start off a paragraph with, here's something somebody else said. Because what it does is it takes the emphasis away from what it is you're trying to say. So what you're trying to say is, hey, there's this trend in the research that I found. Starting off with a quote isn't going to communicate that. So that's one trend I noticed. Another trend I noticed is a lack of detail, lack of specifics. So here we've got some pretty, we've got a focused topic, which is great, but within these paragraphs, we don't know any of the researchers' names. And remember, in APA format, we identify who the researchers are, so that we can go look that up in the reference list or in the annotated bibliography. So remember, your literature review kind of sets up the annotated bibliography. It's like, here's a rundown of the basic themes that I saw in my research. So if somebody's reading your lit review and they don't notice that something's interesting, they're going to want to go to that annotated bibliography entry to learn more about it. So we need to get the names of the people here. And also, remember, we're not organizing paragraphs around the articles, we're organizing them around themes, so make sure that that happens. Alright, last one. I wanted to show you guys a pretty decent example of a writer who's doing some work with trends, still has some things to figure out as far as like including more detail, and also needs to work on not editorializing or not kind of like putting in their own interpretation. You should, in the literature review, focus strictly on what the research is saying. But this is a writer who's got a solid trend that she's noticing. So the first trend I found is moving and how this impacts the current and future relationships these foster children will have. And then we have foster care children are constantly required to be moved around. In some cases, all their siblings move with them, but in many others they do not. That's pretty vague, and it's not very specific, and we also don't know where that's coming from. Is this the writer's own ideas? Is this out of the research that she found? That needs to be clear. So your opinion, not very important to a literature review. A literature review is just it's an overview of the research that you found. So your name, unless you're a researcher in this area, you should not be in this all that much. Okay, so but the writer is doing some pretty good work here. Here's the trend that I found, and then if you take a look down here, there's transitioning going on. Not only can moving around or splitting up siblings impact relationships for foster care children and adults who were once in foster, that's what was going on up here in this paragraph. And then look at this. The relationships between the foster parents and the child can have an impact as well. That's what this upcoming paragraph is all about. So good transitioning work here, but also some work needed to kind of make sure that the writer's opinions is kind of separated out from the research that she's done. Okay, those are the trends I found. And if you guys have any questions, email me. I'll be checking my email pretty regularly. I highly recommend going to the Writing Center. You get a little bit of extra credit for it. Some of you guys need it to take care of some assignments you've missed, but they can also get you really good feedback. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys have a good week. Remember, the due date for this is now Monday, so that's Monday the 20th. Your Essay 5 is due, and I think that's it for now. All right, I'll talk to you all soon.